Hey guys, it's Joel and welcome back to the Z4. It's actually been almost a month, I think, since I filmed in this car, and it certainly feels good to be back. First of all, I want to say a massive thanks to all the new subscribers and viewers and watchers on the YouTube channel. It's really great to see more and more of you by the day, in fact, enjoying this content. It really helps with my motivation to get out there and make it. If you want to help me reach my next target of 2,000 subscribers before Easter, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you click on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my weekly content. So guys, here we are back in the Z4, and the first thing I'm going to do with you today is another Driving with Joel podcast. Now, you may have noticed already, I hope you've noticed already, I've now stuck you up with a proper mount. I've stuck my proper camera up to the windscreen, which is what I'm talking to you through now, and this camera's got a mic on it and it films in 4K, so you should be getting a much better quality from these podcasts. The two podcasts I've done before, the Driving with Joel episodes, have been really rattly and not very good, but I hope that these are of such a standard that it means you can sort of just listen to these. No one wants to sit and watch me talk for 30 minutes straight, so you might be able to just listen instead. So the reason I wanted to get back into the Z4 with a podcast is, well, one, I was meant to be doing these quite regularly, and it's been probably 2 months since I did my last Driving with Joel. But also I wanted to give you an update on the YouTube channel. As I mentioned, it's really great. There's a lot of new people watching and subscribing every day, and that's amazing. So I thought I would give you guys a little bit of an update, and especially in light of the fact that my previous couple of weeks of videos have been travel related, and more specifically my vlogs from my trip to New York. So firstly, I wanted to reassure the mass of you, the most of you are here for the car and the car content, and I wanted to reassure you guys that It's Joel as a channel is going to be predominantly cars. That's not going to change. That's what I've always wanted to do. I really like filming the cars, start putting them on YouTube. That's the way it's going to stay. The thing is that if you don't know me, you wouldn't necessarily know that another big passion of mine is travel. And when I do travel, a lot of the time, if I have the chance, I will film it and definitely publish it and show you guys as well. However, I wouldn't be concerned that it's going to be a regular thing, because the car stuff is going to be, like I say, the main feature on this channel. So don't go anywhere if you're here for the cars, don't worry. On another note, for those of you that may have joined from the New York vlogs and are now watching me drive a car and are a bit confused, and maybe other people who enjoy both types of content, I would be interested to know your opinions on whether it might be an idea to set up a separate channel. I don't know, It's Joel Vlogs or something, specifically for anything that isn't car related. I don't know if you guys would prefer that, if you don't care, or if you actually just don't mind seeing the occasional travel video on here as well. Right then, now we've got those little bits out the way, I want to crack on with this episode 3 of Driving with Joel. So this is meant to be a car podcast. I just wanted to get those sort of few bits out the way. I've got my Waitrose coffee, so I think we're ready to blast through. I am racing a little bit against the light here. Sunset is in 7 minutes actually, and we've only just started, so this might be a little bit shorter than usual, which might be a blessing to your ears to hear. So then, let's get the clickbait out the way. Am I selling my Z4? Over the recent weeks and months, and since I've sort of really chatted to you about my car, I have been thinking a lot about selling this and getting something else. Now, it's not probably a complete secret to you, because I did a video a while ago which was replacing my Z4 for a V10 M6, which isn't something that's completely gone away from my mind. I would still really like to get a V10 M6. However, a lot of you told me it would be the most stupid idea known to man. So that is on hold for now at least. But my Z4 is a high mileage car, and therefore the value of this car is about as low as Z4s will be. You can have a look, they're all over Auto Trader. You can see what that price point would be if you're interested. But this would probably be in the, the bottom 10% of values of Z4s. at least in the UK. So the reason I'm telling you that is because there's a lot of modifications I want to do to this car, and it really did occur to me that there's no point doing them to this car because this car is, you know, not really worth that much. And if I was to go and spend a few £1,000 having certain mods done, it would sort of be wasted on this car, considering it is nearer to the end of its life potentially than other examples of Z4s. So I've been toying with this idea of selling this car and getting a different Z4 for the past few months. Essentially, I want to sell this car and buy a lower mileage Z4, probably the facelift SI engine, and probably a coupe. I was walking around a town quite recently and saw a black coupe with black wheels, which was lowered with the facelift lights and everything, and it just looked amazing. And ever since, I've wanted a coupe. So then I pretty much decided that I think what I wanted to do was sell this Z4 and go through Australia until I could find the right Z4 with lower mileage, a coupe, 3-litre SI coupe, for a little bit more money. But it meant that that car would have more years in it, and doing the modifications that I want to do would make a lot more sense to me. However, the more and more I sort of looked for these cars and tried to find the right one and the one that I would actually like to buy, the values of them are actually quite high. They are too expensive, essentially, to make it worthwhile. Just for sort of a convenience thing to have a slightly newer Z4, it would actually be very, very expensive. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this car, and I'm sure it'd go for years if I should so wish. So, in short then, this car isn't going anywhere. I'm going to keep this car, and I'm looking forward to it. Also, the more and more I was looking at the coupes, I was realising that actually I'd be missing out, because right now we're getting really close to spring and summer, and looking back at my videos from last summer, it looked like so much fun, and I can remember how much fun it was having the roof down during the summer months when it's warm and sunny. So this car isn't going anywhere. This will be staying for a while, and I have decided the mods that I want to do with it. Now, we've talked about this before, and I've said this before, but don't expect these to happen anytime soon, because they do take time. They put my car out of, you know, business, and I use it every day. This is my only car, and of course they cost money as well. And there's a lot of things that you can spend your money on in this world. Anyway, the mods that I definitely want to do to this car at some point are, I want to have the back box removed for straight pipes. So I've been deliberating about this ever since I got the car, but I just need to do it. I've been wanting to do it for so long. I've seen Parker from Vehicle Virgins bought a Z4 to give away to one of his subscribers, which I thought was the most amazing thing, to see a massive YouTuber driving around in a Z4. And he actually did remove the he didn't remove the back box, but he just disconnected the exhaust in the middle. And it did sound loud, as I'd expect. I think he was maybe exaggerating a bit. But he said it felt a little bit lower on power. However, I've heard very, very much mixed things about that. And if you actually replace the pipes for straight pipes, you're not meant to lose any power. So that is definitely got to happen to this car at some point. I don't know if you guys want to see that. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see me remove my back box for straight pipes. Another mod, I've never ever liked the wheels in this car. I really, really want to change the wheels in this car, and I think I've decided that I want to get, well, do you know what, I haven't decided exactly which wheels I want to get. At the moment it would be the 18-inch M Sport wheels, the ones that in fact are on my friend Ben's Z4, the guy who wrapped his Z4 himself. There's a video about that. But the wheels on his Z4 are the wheels that I would probably choose if I had to choose right now. However, that's not necessarily what I would go with. Now, like I say, I've decided I want to do that, and I'm probably going to wait until my current tyres reach the end of their life, and then that would be a good time to replace the wheels. I think then once I change the wheels, there would only be one other thing I could do, which would be to lower the car. Now again, lots of research, a lot of thought has gone into this, and I just think aesthetically, if I changed the wheels on this car, it would look odd if it wasn't lowered. The wheel arches actually go quite far over the back of the car, and it looks a little bit weird the more and more I'm noticing it now. So I would probably lower the car by about 30 mil, somewhere around that, and chuck some spaces on the rear as well, and I think all of those things would make it look amazing. The last thing, of course, I would love to do is wrap the car, but wrapping cars is not cheap, and unless my friend Ben could do it for me for free, that's probably not going to happen, at least to this car. Okay then, so that's the mods and the am I selling my Z4 out of the way. I'm really sorry if you've heard that before. I feel like we have discussed that, but that is a more sort of definite thing that I've just told you now. So that is what's happening and will be happening, and I hope will happen at some point. But yeah, the Z4 isn't going anywhere. I think it's probably going to be with me throughout the spring and the summer this year. So then, as with the other Driving with Joel episodes, I brought up the Grand Tour. Now I think it's very relevant because it's the main sort of TV style car show, I guess. The new Top Gear is coming out very, very soon, and I'm quite excited to see that. I really enjoy Chris Harris. But I really love the three boys on Grand Tour, and do you know what? I really enjoyed season 2. It has been so much better than season 1. In previous episodes of Driving with Joel, I think we've discussed episodes 1 through 4, but there's now been about 12, including that final Africa special, which was aired last weekend. And yeah, I genuinely think it's got progressively better through the series. Now, I'm not completely blind to the fact that I think they have lost a lot of their authenticity in terms of the way they present. I think it's very much scripted, and it is a lot more scripted than Top Gear was, and it's only getting more and more scripted every episode. But I live for those few moments where it's clearly not scripted and they are just having an absolute blast and a laugh doing what they're doing. And there has really been too many highlights for me to point out from the season 2 of Grand Tour. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's quite a controversial topic. A lot of people completely hate it and think that they need to, they should have stopped 10 years ago, and some people are really, really enjoying it. I personally enjoyed it, and I'm always happy to see more car content. I do think, sadly, it may be not too far from the end for these guys, for the Grand Tour at least, or for what you'd expect them to be doing. I think there might be another series or 2 at a push. I think after that it will definitely grow old, and that will probably be the end of Clarkson, Hammond and May as a trio. Now, don't take my word on it, that's just speculation, and that's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Grand Tour, because like I say, it's quite a touchy subject, and it's a bit marmitey, I guess. So I'd be really interested to know down below what you thought about it and what your favourite episode was, because I really enjoyed it. Okay then, we're blasting through, thankfully, because it's dark outside and you're not going to be able to see me in a minute. The last thing I wanted to talk about is something I probably talk about in all my videos again, but I'm struggling, as you can see. What I want to know from you guys is what car content you'd like to see. So obviously we had a little discussion at the start about how I want this to be predominantly cars, as it is, and I want to be bringing you weekly videos at least. So what I need from you guys is some help with suggestions. I'm the kind of person that gets a lot of ideas in my head. I've got a lot of people that I can do videos with, and yeah, I've got so many ideas and plans. I just want you guys to sort of give me some ideas too, because when you give me an idea and it's one that I've already got, it's like, right, I need to do it, and it really helps me to sort of decide in my head what I should film, what I shouldn't film, and what I should prioritise. So as always, guys, I really appreciate your support and engagement with helping me on what to create. And at the end of the day, I really enjoy making videos and obviously driving my car around. It's brilliant, but you know, the reason I do it on YouTube is so that you guys see it, and you know, as many people as possible can see it, because that feels good for me that people are watching the content I make. But at the same time, I would much rather be making exactly what it is you want to see, if that makes sense. So please fire away your suggestions in the comments or on Instagram. A lot of you like to message me on Instagram, and that's absolutely fine. But yeah, leave some comments on this video as well, so that other people can reply and give their opinions too. But I'd really like to know what you guys want to see. And yeah, that is really it for this episode of Driving with Joel. I was going to point out that I have been long overdue my 20,000 miles with my Z4 video. It has been over 20,000 miles now that I've done in this car, and yeah, I really need to do a sort of update video on the Z4, what it's been like to live with it, how much it's cost, you know, the pros and cons of ownership of the Z4 in my opinion. So that video will be coming soon. It's just a bit of a logistical nightmare to film. Right guys, well, I think I've covered all of the points and topics that I wanted to in this podcast. I feel like it's been a little bit of a repeat of maybe a previous video, but I still think it's all relevant because, you know, it's probably a few months since I've talked about any of this kind of stuff, and I think now it's a little bit more final and less speculative. Anyway, I'm going to bring this to a close now, because as you can see, it's pretty much dark, and I have just been driving away from my house this whole time, so I'm now quite far away from home and I'm very much lost. However, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I almost just died. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, guys. If you have, don't forget to leave it a like. It really helps out a lot. If you haven't liked it, I'm sorry. I wouldn't worry too much. These podcasts aren't going to be ever so regular, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But as always, guys, thank you so much for your continued viewership, subscriptions and support. And if you haven't got me on Instagram, go over to Instagram and follow me on there, because I'm trying hard to make that better too. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling. I hope you guys have had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you very soon for the next car-related video.